If you ain't talking heavy, what you talking for? If you ain't talking heavy, what you talking for? Talk heavy, talk heavy, talk heavy, talk heavy, talk heavy, talk heavy.
Welcome to a whole nother episode of Talk Heavy. Once again, I'm your boy Scoop Burgundy.
It's your boy Taj.
Just call me Ruff.
It's your girl, just Brent.
And it's Scotty.
And today we have a very, very special guest. The businessman himself, the promoter himself, Nick Reed in the building, y'all.
It's my sound effects.
So yes, we are interviewing the famous, the infamous, I don't know what you want to call him, the Nick Reed. So the first question that we always like to ask our guests, man, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm blessed. You know, it's a very difficult time, but you know, God has been very good, you know, so that's what we do. We just continue to lean on him and move forward. So I'm blessed.
That's right.
Wow. I wanted to get
powerful. It was so powerful. It made all of you go silent.
Yeah.
you know. No, I wanted to jump right into it. So, like, how did you get started in the entertainment industry, in that promoting game, in the music game? How did you get started there?
Well, wow. I'm glad I wrote a lot of this stuff down years ago because it's so long ago. I probably would have forgotten. Well, actually, me and Bishop Robinson came up with a concept called R&R Productions, and we wanted to do gospel music. We wanted to bring in, you know, gospel artists from all over the country and promote the shows. So back in those days, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have all that kind of stuff. So we had a great idea, but we had no money. So I had to go get the money. So I literally went through the yellow pages. I found a local record company, called them. I hand wrote a letter, a proposal, took it to the owner of the company, and he gave me $5,000 to promote our first show. So of course I'm a great salesman, and Bishop, he didn't believe that I could do it. He didn't, but $5,000, can you imagine in 1982, $5,000 is like $1 million.
Right.
So that's how we really, that's how we got started. We put on our first show. It was Milton Brunson and the Thompson Community Choir out of Chicago. We did it at the Cathedral of Faith Church in North Philly. And that was the beginning of R&R Productions.
Okay. How did you transition from the gospel into the mainstream secular music? How did that transition go?
Because we lost money in gospel. Well, you know, listen, when you're 19, 18 years old, putting on major concerts, it's a learning curve, right? So, at that point, we just decided, well, look, let's just kind of broaden our horizon and not just pigeonhole ourselves into one genre of music. So that's when we turned comedy. So we started putting on comedy shows, and we formed a company called Comedy Express Enterprises.
Okay.
And that's when Bishop's brother, Keith, as you all know, the elder Keith, I would say the smarter Keith. No, I'm just yeah. You know, he had started his career in comedy, and you know, I created the company, and we just started putting shows together. We started doing shows with Chris Rock, and you know, we did BET, and we started writing for WDAS, and I mean, we just kind of had a stranglehold on comedy. And it was pretty successful. A lot of people still know us by then. We introduced Wanda Sykes to the market. Warren Hutchinson, you know, which is a dynamic writer and producer out in LA. So, you know, we really made a big mark. Unfortunately, a lot of the ideas that we had come up with was kind of stolen from us by some bigger, more wealthier people. So,
say their
that,
names. No, I'm
I would say that, Def Comedy Jam was kind of our concept.
Right.
Okay.
And we put the shows together. We created, there was a network called Prism. And Prism now is NBC Universal. So we had a deal with them. They were televising our comedy shows. So it was pretty successful.
Oh, great. We got a comment. They said, lower your camera, get a booster seat.
Need a booster seat.
Get a booster seat.
Hey, who's that? I might need to sign them up.
I think you know who it is. It's your brother.
Oh, God. Okay.
Britt, what you got, Britt?
So my question, first I want to say hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So how has life been treating you during this quarantine? And what is your first impression when it first happened with the looting and everything that's going on in this crazy world right now?
Well, the first thing is that I said, "Oh no," because we were in the middle of doing a show in Atlantic City called Lit in AC, and Lit in AC was trending sellout, which would have been somewhere around $1.5 million in the box office. And when they, everything came to a screeching halt, so we had to postpone the show. We postponed it twice because we thought that we were going to get back to some kind of normalcy, and it just didn't happen. So now we postponed it to 2021, and we've had to give back actually over $400,000 in refunds. So that was pretty devastating because we were pretty much on a roll. We had just did the All Stars of Hip Hop, which was a sellout, and then we did Johnny Gill in February, and then Lit in AC was coming up in April, and then all this happened. So, when you see what's going on in the world, this pandemic has, I think everybody has had a lot of emotions.
Right.
A lot of people dealing with some really mental challenges. And I talked to a lot of different people, and the main thing that this pandemic has caused was, obviously a civil unrest. My feeling about where, because even inside of that, when the whole George Floyd thing happened, and that's when really the rioting and things like that happened.
Right.
I think it's good because it wasn't just for the United States, but the world saw what was happening to African American people.
Right.
The problem that I have is that I don't think anything is ever going to change. I think racism is so systemic. It's the lifeblood of America, and even though we built America on our sweat and blood and tears, I'm talking about Black people. I don't think it's ever going to change. What they may do, what white folks may do, is they'll give us some crumbs from the table here and there, but nothing where it's going to change the culture of America. I just don't see it ever happening. So,
my last you is, what is some advice or some pointers that you would give an upcoming promoter that's trying to get out here and trying to brand themselves in this business?
Well, you mean after we get back to normal, or right now? Because right now,
you could say both. Like, cause I'm pretty sure some people out here that's like working on, because there's a lot of people since this pandemic happened that they're starting their own business. So, like, for right now, like, what pointers would you give them now and coming out of this pandemic?
Well, to be honest with you, right now, I probably would say try to find a different profession.
Mm.
It's too volatile, and because right now we're totally pivoting into the virtual world, right? We're doing, we're playing in virtual concerts,
Okay.
and although people may say, well, it's kind of the same thing, I'm finding out and I'm learning that it's totally different, So I don't know that concerts will ever come back the way it was. If it does, it'll be some years, because I just think the fear factor in people, even though there's a segment of people that still will come out and go to shows, and I don't think when we put a show together and we're thinking that it's going to be a sellout, I don't think we can ever come into a show moving forward thinking that, hey, man, we got this lineup and it's going to sell out. I just don't think that's going to happen. But what this has done, what this pandemic has done, it's allowing us to find new ground with virtual concerts. So it's another revenue stream. So when we do come back to live concerts, we will still stream them online for pay. So hopefully that will kind of, bridge the gap between what we lost at the live gate to what we want to gain online.
So how's that process going with the virtual concerts? Like, how's that coming along?
Right now, we feel really good about it. It's been about 2.5 months in the making, and we had to find the right building, we had to find the right artists, we had to find the right group of people, that believed in the concept. And now, because I have 39 years in the concert business, but you would think that talking to the artists, they say, "Oh yeah, you guys are good. Yeah, we know what you do, and you book us, you pay us a lot of money, and we come, we sell out." But when you're as an artist, when you're trusting somebody with your brand online, it's a whole totally different thing.
Right.
Because we're not just talking to 13, 14,000 people in Atlantic City or 9, 10,000 people in Philadelphia. We're talking about the world. And they want to make sure that they can entrust us with their brand. So it's a different selling point, But fortunately, Kim, Stokely, Avant, Drew Hill, all these guys are starting to come on board with us. So it's progressing pretty good.
Well, I wish you good luck on your virtual concert.
Thank you. I need it because I'm going broke. Matter of fact, y'all promised me a check.
Hey, it got stuck in the mail. It got stuck in the mail.
Scotty, you promised me.
You better talk to our sponsor. We gotta talk to our sponsor. Yeah, I can't. You the one with the money.
So I wanted to ask you, for you saying you've been in the concert business for 39 years, that's far beyond longer than I've been on this earth. So I want to ask you, have you ever crossed paths with Live Nation? Because it seems like you've done your own thing pretty much under your own umbrella for so long. Have you ever crossed paths with Live Nation through the 39 years, like to do business with them at any point?
Oh yeah, I've done several major events with Live Nation. The thing is, Live Nation they're the leaders in the concert business, and they're also pivoting into the virtual world. But they have billions of dollars, and this is what I mean by I don't think things are ever changed, because they are doing things now where they're putting up 8 concerts, drive-in concerts at one time, where it costs them a couple $1 million, and we're struggling, to put up one, and we've come together with several different, minority promoters. We've come together, to try to make this platform work, and Live Nation put up 8 shows, but one is Black, only one. So, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
Well, I want because it seems like you're willing to talk about, like, the Black Lives Matter movement and so on and so forth. And with the recent things that happened with Nick Cannon, do you kind of like not want to talk about it or not want to put your opinion out there towards people so your shows don't get canceled or interfered with, or do you feel as though,
I'm a nobody, so I can say what I want to say. Nobody cares about what I say. I'll say what I want to say.
do you think Nick was wrong though in his comments?
I think he was wrong for how he said it. I don't think he was wrong. The essence of what he said, I don't think was wrong.
Right.
So, but everybody has their own opinion. I just saw he had a meeting or interview with a Jewish rabbi, and he cleared up some things. And he said, I think that clarity made me understand even deeper what he was trying to get across. But people like controversy. So, him getting fired was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
I'm gonna lose everything in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. But that's what happens. And that's another example of why I say, all right, no, things ain't, how much do you really think things are going to change? It just isn't.
Right.
And then you also, that was you.
Go ahead, Keith.
You said you was a nobody. I don't believe in that. You've been talking your stuff. You've been flexing on here. You said you got 79 years in the game. Do you ever?
Hey, look, I got flyers older than you guys.
Absolutely.
Oh.
This here is the first show that we've ever done.
Hey.
Wow.
It's just words. There's no
You read
pictures.
that on the typewriter? Y'all wrote that on the typewriter? What's going on?
There wasn't no computers back then. Lucky I didn't handwrite the flyers.
But I wanted to ask, you ever feel like jealous of what you just said? They ain't had no computers back then. Y'all had to go hand out y'all flyers. I heard the stories thousands of times. We had to go hand out flyers. We had to get out in the streets. We had to go talk to people. Do you ever feel like they got it too easy nowadays? Can you just go on the internet, post your flyer, and get off?
Yeah, I don't think the work ethic is the same. It is much easier now, but it's difficult in other ways. You got to be more careful about what you say and what you do and what you even promote, because at the tap of a button, the whole world gets to see it.
Right.
So back in the day when we was just doing guerrilla marketing and handing out flyers and stuff like that, if it was a typo, you just rip up the flyers and go make a new batch and go hand them out again.
Right.
So, but I don't think that work ethic is the same now. So a lot of the young, hip hop artists, a lot of them, when they get famous and they get a lot of money, they really don't know how to handle it because it came so quick. That's why you're hearing so many of them getting killed and robbed. And so it's just, but the times have changed. So, and even as an old guy like me, you got to adjust. You got to, you got to see and understand the landscape and make your mark, because time don't stand still.
Right. So it's funny that she used guerrilla marketing. Just a quick story. I was talking to my dad, Bishop Robinson, and we was trying to do some guerrilla marketing, and we wasn't doing it the proper way. He called it chimpanzee marketing.
Chimpanzee.
So y'all like to come at. Was working very hard. Okay, that's all I want to say about that. But while we're talking about the things that we talked about Cannon, we definitely have to hear your opinion on Kanye West. Going to South Carolina, and he had what some people say a meltdown, some people call it a speech. What do you call it?
I call it crazy. That's what I call it. Kanye West is crazy. No, I mean, I don't really have much of opinion on Kanye. I would just say the people that like him and follow him, will continue to do so. But to put him in any position of authority would be a major catastrophe.
Yeah.
So, as an entrepreneur, let him do his thing. You know, he tried to step into the gospel market. His album was a complete flop. And it was horrible. So that lasted all but 5 minutes. So,
right.
you know, but no, I just don't feel that Kanye amounts to anything in terms of where we need to be as a people. You know, just because you're black don't mean you for what we stand for. You know, and we already got crazy with Trump. Why we need crazy part 2?
We don't need more crazy.
We don't need more crazy.
Right. That's real.
No, I got you. So yeah, we was talking about all the different genres that you you know, you book. What is the easiest genre to work with as far as putting a show together?
Comedy.
Okay.
Comedy is the easiest. And believe it or not, I think gospel might be the hardest.
I didn't want to ask that, but you listen, you gave it to us anyway.
You said it.
Gospel. And I love gospel. I think there's still a great market for gospel, but some of those artists, man, are yikes.
It's the beast.
I'd rather do Kanye.
This guy, what you guys got?
Oh, I do actually have, you know, I heard some allegations from an anonymous source. I won't name no names. But we heard a little something about you having a reputation for a little temper. Now, in the industry, is there any truth that we heard, all allegations, that you and Big Daddy Kane had a little altercation back in the day? Now, I just
I'll be right there.
Listen, if you want to plead the fifth, that's cool, you know. But you want to talk heavy though, you know what I'm saying? And we talk heavy on here, so let me, you know. No. We had an altercation, but it wasn't because I went after. Well, I did go after him, but it wasn't. It wasn't like that. Let me hear the story.
Well, all right. We were doing a show called Rap Invasion '91, and it was Big Daddy Kane, Father MC, EPMD. I forgot who else. It was a bunch of. Kane was the headliner. So Kane back then was heavy into, you know, to getting high. So on the day of the show, he came on the stage. Now, you know, before they go on stage, you got to pay him. So we paid him. He went on stage. They played his music, his intro music. He came out with the mic. He may have said 2 or 3 words, dropped the mic, and walked out the side door. This was at the old Civic Center. So keep in mind, this was one of our first major hip hop shows. So I'm on stage. So I'm the stage manager. I'm the production manager. So I could see him walking out the door with his security. So my partner was like, "What's going on?" So I'm like, "I'm about to find out." So I went out after him, and they had a car. This was all set up because they had cars sitting outside the convention center, a civic center. So the plan was to take the money, get in the cars, and leave, and go back to New York. So, you know, New York has always been disrespectful of Philly. So they think, you know, we a bunch of punks. So I went after Kane. I got up on Kane. I grabbed him and the security, pushed me back. Kane grabbed me and was about to throw me. It was like a bridge. Behind the Civic Center is a bridge. And it's like, I would have died. I was just gonna tell you. You know, so, and Kane, you know, he ain't no small dude. Kane about 6'2", you know. So I guess he just see this little short. I'm the only guy that came out after him. So I'm thinking, I'm seeing $10,000 walk out the door.
Hey.
So Charlie Mack came, thank God, he came out and saw Kane. They was getting ready to lift me up and throw me over the bridge, and Charlie Mack saved me. Yeah, true story.
Goodness gracious.
Hey, shout out to Charlie Mack. Yeah.
Shout out to Charlie.
Shout out to Charlie Mack.
I like the advice we give is learn how to fight before you get into this business. It's people.
Well, we learned our lesson, and every hip hop show after that, all our security was armed.
Right.
That would never happen again. Because Shabba Ranks tried us. I don't know if you know who he is, Jamaican rapper. But back in the day, we was doing a show with Guy, Levert, and Shabba Ranks. And Shabba Ranks tried to do the same thing, take our money, and he was getting ready to leave. And we told him, I don't think you want to do that, bro.
Yeah. It was a different story this time?
Listen, he performed. We had to pull him off the stage. He was gone, boy.
With that heat behind him,
yeah. So, like I said, it's just you live and you learn. It's just a work in progress. You just figure out the do's and the don'ts in the business because it wasn't that many really major black promoters back then.
Why would he do that though? Why would he just walk out like, yeah, I'm gonna take this bread and just go? Like, why would he do something like that?
He may have talked to Kane. I don't know. Kane might have said, yeah, they some softies, bro. Go and get that money.
Got no security.
Okay, we fixed that problem.
Hey,
a quick fix.
You just took that L? You just lost the 10K, that was it?
Well, we sued William Morris, and we ended up getting a free show with one of the other artists. So
it all worked out.
Well, we had to give back a lot of money from the Big Daddy Kane show.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But see, the thing is, as a black promoter, though, you can't really go hard. Back then, you can go hard against William Morris, right? Because who you gonna buy your talent from? You know, William Morris, they had all the hip hop artists. They had all the Def Jam artists. They had everybody. So all the R&B, like it was nothing we could do. So we threatened them. You know, of course, you can't go on social media in '91. You know, so you send out a bunch of faxes to everybody about it.
Make some phone calls.
Yeah. So we just took the other. I don't even remember who the other artist was back then, but we got a free show. So we made up a lot of that money.
Okay.
And you're still here with us. Whew. Thank God.
I'm still here.
Now, I have to ask this one really important question, because just before you said it, I heard differently. You said you work with a very talented comedian named Keith Robinson.
Did I say that?
And then you started Comedy Express. But from what I heard, that talented comedian started Comedy Express. He started Comedy Express. Who's lying?
Who's lying?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. You know, because I'm known for my honesty. I started Comedy Express. All right. And Keith Robinson is not that talented. All right. And I hope he's watching, because he dogged me out on Charlie Mack's show. So yeah, Keith, you stink. And I got tapes on you.
The record straight.
You got tapes. You got tapes. Oh,
let him know.
You better leave it alone, Pops.
Y'all dirty Robinsons. We tired of y'all. Always try to take credit for our stuff.
Yeah. What you tell them? Stinking Robinsons. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's good. You got anything, Taj? We good to go on the interview.
No, we good to go. Yeah, we can keep rolling.
Oh God.
So, before we get to Was I Wrong, which is our next segment, we have a quick word from our sponsors. TalkHvy, that's TalkHvy, brought to you. This whole segment is brought to you by TalkHvy. You can find all our stuff on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That is TalkHvy. And ladies, if you're feeling hit, go holla at _ just Brit. Now, this segment of the show is called Was I Wrong? where we give a story and we ask the panel, was I wrong? Now, that story that you just gave, cuz, was I wrong worthy? Was you wrong for going after Kane? No, you wasn't wrong.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You should have shot him. You should have shot him.
No, but speaking of getting into it at a show, I guess I have a story to tell, right? So it was a Tuesday night. A friend of mine, he booked an adult film star for a club, right, from the parents. So we're at the club, Vanity Grand, Philadelphia. We having fun. We got the drinks, we flowing. She performs. Fast forward to the end of the night. Everybody's out the club. I have some Hennessy and I have a beer right here. So the security is like, yo, lights is on, y'all gotta roll. I take my Hennessy back, but if you know me, I don't know. I can't really drink the beer like that quick. It's the suds that get me. So I was like, wait. Hold on, I'm gonna leave, hold on. So the security guard got upset and smacked my beer on the ground. Smacked it smooth on the ground. My cousin that was with me did not appreciate it. Shout out to little cuz, bro. He didn't appreciate him smacking my beer on the ground. So he punched the security guard smooth in the face. After he punched him in the face, now it's on. We got to fight now. So now we fighting with security. They hitting us, we hitting them. We get outside, and there's cops out there. I didn't see the cop. All I heard was, oh, you like hitting cops. Next thing you know, I'm in the air, then my head is on the ground. He dumped me on my head. I'm dumped on my head. My cousin is dumped on his head. Now we're in handcuffs now. He keep talking trash to security. Oh, I'm going to F you up when I get out these cuffs. I promise you, it's on. It's on. So they got us in the back of the car. The security guard said, we're not pressing charges. Just let them go. So after I heard that, I said, okay, now I know what this is. There's nobody out there. The cops let us go, uncuffed us, said, do what y'all want, and rolled out the parking lot. So at that moment, now I had to make a smarter decision because now it's part two. And this time, I'm seeing security start grabbing their waist and stuff like that. So, I had to make a calculated decision and say, we know people. We got some skin in the game. I said, y'all know Bishop Robinson? That's my dad. So I had to name drop at that moment because I knew my dad was close friends with the head of security. So once they found out who I was, they was like, hold on, that's Bishop's son. Yo, man, go to the crib because my man want to hurt your man right here. Get out of here. That all happens. But once my dad found out, I knew that Unc was going to find out Uncle Keith. So at the time, he's mentoring us. He's looking out. I'm like, dang, I can't mess this opportunity up, man. So I'm waiting for the phone call. When Unc finally called me like, so what happened? I said, man, Unc, I was working the show. And I was taking some equipment out of the venue, and the security just started hitting me for no reason. I don't know what provoked them. I don't know why. I guess they were upset for some reason. They just started dumping me and my cousin. And Uncle was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe those animals. We need to press charges. We need to see if we can sue. That whole spiel. The truth later on came out, and he called me a filthy liar after that. Now I want to know. Was I wrong for trying to protect my image by lying to Uncle?
Nope.
No, you are wrong. No,
you absolutely were wrong. What's the matter with you guys? Yes. You lied to your mentor.
You got to.
Don't be a dirty liar.
Don't tell a little white lie.
Nah, that was you wasn't like the situation wasn't bad enough for you to lie.
Oh, it was bad enough.
There was no reason for him to lie.
No, I mean you had a little drink. He was like, yeah, I had a drink. He smacked it out my hand.
I think you need more context of
Huh?
who you used to be to understand why was it a little drink.
Yeah, it was a lot of drink, but that's
A lot of drink.
Oh, you was on the clock. You was on the clock drinking.
Well, I wasn't really on the clock. That was part of the lie as well.
You didn't understand that he lied so good you didn't even get it off.
You got dumped on your head and you lied. This is a bad situation. Like,
Yeah, that's bad.
That's why I feel like you wrong at. Don't feel it.
Can't fight
Listen.
and you lie. What's going on?
Those cops were strong. They understand that. They wasn't cops for no reason. Goodness gracious. So yeah, I guess I'll take the L on that one. You know what I'm saying? But it was. You don't think I was wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. Because I lie to him all the time. I ain't telling the truth yet.
That's a doggone shame.
26 years in, and I'm still, we just a lie.
In my defense, I wanted to prove that I was a changed man. I wasn't getting in trouble no more. So yeah, I had to tell that little white lie.
Well, let's start at being at Vanity Grand. Nothing good happens at that after hours.
Start with the first mistake.
And Keith is dumb if he believed you. All right? So I'm taking another shot at your pop. No, I'm taking a shot at your pop, Keith. And he believed you. Oh, why? We're going to sue him. Keith, you're an idiot.
We're going to sue the gentleman's club.
I wanted to defend my career so bad, but that makes so much sense. Like, you was that man working. Oh, man, we have to sue them. Yeah.
So yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, we're gonna get the goons together and go over there. No,
we're gonna sue.
We gotta sue. We're gonna sue. What kind of punk is he? Yeah, we need to backtrack. We know you were wrong, but Keith Robinson Sr., he's an idiot. He's a punk. Oh, we're gonna sue.
This is.
Did you have a skirt on when he said it?
I have you know. My dad is on probation, so he can't fight anymore. He's been on house arrest for 4 years, so he cannot. Boy. Sorry, Dad. I got you. I know you would kill it.
So yeah, that's what we have. So next up, we have a segment called TalkHvy Court. So in this TalkHvy Court today, we have our guest who said he's going to go head up with the host, Scoop Robinson. Our guest, Nick Reed, is taking the position that R&B has more influence in the culture, or had more influence on the culture than hip-hop. And I'm taking the other one. Hip-hop had more influence on the culture than R&B.
Of course you are. Of course you're taking hip hop. You young whippersnapper.
So let me get my background together. I like your hat, so I'm gonna do my background. In true fashion, the Eagle versus the Cowboy, a Robinson versus a Reed. Let's get this together.
Go ahead.
So
I'll give you first crack at the champ. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll take first crack. Who's timing me? I'll start my 2 minutes as of now. So the reason I feel like hip hop had more influence on the culture than R&B, let's start off with how hip hop started. Let's talk about how the DJ took one genre of music or multiple genres of music and created its own. Let's talk about how they changed how production of music was even done back in those days. And then let's get into the MC. Let's talk about the influence that the MC had on the game. Whether we talking about back in the day, where Run DMC had the whole world rocking Adidas, or we talking about later on in hip hop when you got somebody like P. Diddy, that's what we call him, Sean Combs with the clothing line. We talking about Jay-Z with Rockaware. We talking about Russell Simmons with Baby Fat and Fat Farm. So we talking about the whole world being influenced from dress to the way they talk. So we talking about, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everybody around the world talk like hip hop. Come on, baby. We didn't change the fabric of our nation and the world through our influence in hip hop culture. Then we talking about Cristal, right? They like, oh man, everybody popping Cristal in the club. Soon as rappers said we ain't popping no more, stocks went down. But then we got Diddy popping out with Ciroc. Now everybody popping those bottles. So we talking about hip hop right now and the influence. It's no match. It's no match.
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
How far back did you go? 2001?
Hey, your time starts now.
That's the reach of hip hop. Are you kidding me? But let me, I know I'm supposed to say my R&B thing, but let me start by bashing hip hop right now. This is not even hip hop. I don't know what you call it. It's slop. That's what we call it, hip slop. All right? So you have killed, you young guys have effectively killed hip hop. All right? So, oh my God. Hip hop is dead. Give me the days of Dougie Fresh and Public Enemy, please. No, we got NBA Youngboy and Little Baby and Da Baby.
Sounds like a good lineup to me.
Oh my God. You killed the industry. Tell me, how many sponsorships do they have? None. They stink.
Hey, yo.
Now, let me give you some truth. All right. What did you say? I got 2 minutes. They didn't tell me I had 2 minutes, but I'll take the 2 minutes. You know, because you know when we do our podcast, or when we did, matter of fact, let me just say this too. We had a podcast called Hey Stupid, right? I mean Filthy Liars, and we had a segment called Hey Stupid. And by the way, if your father Keith is watching, I just want to go on record saying that I was the star of the podcast. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm taking over TalkHvy, effective now.
Wait a
You're
minute.
out. All right.
You're talking crazy.
Make him stop.
Pull it back in. You know, I get emotional when you start talking about R&B. I'm sorry. That's it. All right. So let me tell you why R&B. First of all, let me correct you idiots, all right, about the culture, the African American culture. All right, it's not the influence of hip hop on the culture. It's the culture influences hip hop or R&B. It influences the music. Music is reactionary. You understand? It's not prophetic. So let me just start that alone. I win. Okay, but we'll go further. Wait a minute. They said my internet is unstable. It's too much fire over here. Can you guys hear me okay? You see?
Yeah, you back.
I'm back.
Yeah, you back.
I win just from that. But all right, so the culture influences music. So just so that you understand, music doesn't influence culture. It may accentuate culture, but it does not influence culture. And, you know, there are studies that say that African Americans, and it's proven through these different studies, that R&B is most influenced by African American culture. All right. Matter of fact, 88% of African Americans say they're influenced by that genre over any other genre of music.
Hey.
And that's a fact. As of 2018, October 2018, that is a study, and that's what the numbers that they came back with. Matter of fact, in November 2018, 62% say that R&B of African Americans say that R&B is their top genre of music. 39% says hip hop is. So you got to understand the history of R&B and the breadth of what it encompasses socially, commercially, artistically, suggests that it's not monolithic. This is not just a one and done structured thing. It's a complex story of strands and experiences. R&B has every major event in African American history has been surrounded by the background of R&B music. So there's no way, especially amongst our people, and we're talking about now, you know, look, I want to be transparent and say from the demo of 25 through 54, you know, but guess what? In other age categories, the Gen Xers, the millennials, baby boomers, they're all in the high 60s to low to high 60s in terms of choosing R&B as their favorite influential music. So you got R&B where hip hop comes from R&B. R&B is a mixture of blues, big band swing, gospel, boogie, blues, and rock and roll. The most influential R&B artist of all time is Michael Jackson. Actually, let me just say, the #1 selling R&B album of all time, and that encompasses hip hop, jazz, and so on and so forth, is Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's not even close. There's not a hip hop album in the top 25. So when you talk about names like Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Sam Cooke, Ray Charles, Prince, Nat King Cole, and on and on and on, you're talking about periodic music throughout the course of African American history. We smash hip hop. You can't be greater than R&B if you come from R&B.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give you one last statement. 10 seconds.
Give me 10 seconds. R&B is the greatest genre of music in African American history. So I could drop.
Period.
Oh.
Well, you know,
am I there?
I heard some.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. So if I had a mic, I'd drop it.
You know what? I'll pick it right back up. You know, I heard some stats, right? And I'm gonna spit some stats too. 99% of everybody
wait, you can't cross-examine. Hold up, you can't cross-examine. Somebody, who's the judge here? How you gonna cross-examine? You had your 2 minutes.
Yeah, we get a rebuttal. We get a rebuttal. It's one rebuttal.
Y'all
You
didn't tell me
did your
the rules.
rebuttal. You did your rebuttal all in one shot.
It's as Judge Robert said, Scoop, you get 45 minutes, the same amount of time Nick
had. You know, and my stat is that 99% of the people that they surveyed was lying. I know that they love hip hop. I can guarantee that hip hop is #1 on their list. Like you know, as I said before, you know, you got this movement. I know being an entrepreneur didn't just start, but you know, through, as I said before, since we dropped the names, the Jay-Z's, the Diddy's, and you know, the Russell Simmons of the world, starting your own and owning your own is a real thing. It's a real attainable thing. And then I didn't even get into this B-boy movement. I didn't get into how the whole world grabbed the cardboard, started spinning on their head. You know what? I think back in the day, did you try to break dance? Cuz, did you break dance? I know you got some moves from back in the day.
I was
awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying the influence all across the world, even to this day, you know, you got your B-boys posted up in the club. And that, you know, the DJs right now stealing what they stole from hip hop and putting it together. So I would just say hip hop, man, once again. And that's why I dropped the mic. That's right.
All right. Well, listen. Do I get one more say or no?
Yeah. You get one more.
Listen, you got a minute. 1 minute.
All right. So listen. When you talk about R&B, you're talking about there's a 30-year period in African American history where the era of legally sanctioned. We were the voice against legally sanctioned racial segregation and international conflicts and so on and so forth. You cannot, there's no way you can set the course of history and then and not be the most influential part of its history.
Okay.
Wow.
Dang,
That was
I
it.
should have said something.
All right.
I should have said something about NWA. Y'all got it.
All right.
Hey, that was
Well,
good.
So
I'm
judges,
just trying to teach you young boys a little something, and young lady. I'm just trying to teach you a little something. As the landscape changes and the social divide, you'll see, if you look back on history, seriously, look back on history, you'll see that it's R&B music that carry African American people.
Hmm.
We were the voice. The music was the voice, and it started with gospel. R&B came from gospel, right? That was when they were picking cotton in the cotton fields. They were singing gospel music, and R&B just added a beat to it. So anyway, do I get a trophy? What's the deal?
We judging you right now. So,
They judge first.
so
Oh,
let me start off then since I'm already talking. I'm gonna have to give it to Unc. You know what I'm saying? Because you came through with the facts. You came through with the statistics. You came through with the social justice. And that racial segregation joint that hit hard. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a hard hitting one. Cause that's facts. Cause I remember listening to The Ghetto by Donny Hathaway and Stevie and all them. So yeah, you definitely took that. But Scoop, you did good though. I like.
No, he didn't. Don't pat him on the back. He did nothing.
Y'all don't like The Ghetto by Scarface?
Nah, it's just that us Reed. He got that Reed juice. That's all it is. He can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Go.
It is what it is. You feel me? But no,
all right, go next.
well, I think it goes without saying, the good old Nick Reed Jr. Senior has won.
Yeah, I'm Junior. You got it right. I am
Oh,
Junior.
okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank
and
you.
that settles that.
And that settles that. There you go.
I'm going with Scoopy Boy because I like the little baby. The baby.
It's always a woman that gets emotional.
Yeah.
I like little baby. I'm gonna take it easy on you, but now you're gonna catch it.
I like what you hear there, Britt. Did you have anything else to say, Britt, before I go? Now, it's Robinson. I'd rather have my foot cut off than ever see Reed win anything. and like you said, the slave song, but Kanye said we are the new slaves.
Yes.
And the new slaves love a little hip hop, a little whoa, a little.
He's what I want to live my life by. Kanye, thank you. Oh my God.
We are
Robinsons are dumb.
with Scoop Robinson,
Oh.
aka the winner Robinson.
Wait, you have these winners two against two.
Scotty half a person. We gonna go.
Do we have a popular vote on our comments?
It's infested. The chat is infested with reads. I can't get past half of it.
So he has to win.
Even my own mom down there. My mom down there clapping for Nick. Like, go ahead, Nick. Mom, what are you doing?
Hey.
All right, so
So the Jews. What you mean? You can't deny it. It's undeniable. You can't.
You get a victory speech. So, Kaz, what's your victory speech?
Well, I knew it was in the bag when I knew I was dueling you. All right, a stinking Robinson. So I accept. Wait a minute.
Hey, guys.
Scotty already mailed it to me. Yeah, I know you got it in the bag. So I just want to thank everybody who voted for me, and we can do this again someday. Thank you. I want to thank my wife, who's probably watching. I want to thank all my fans, all 3 of them. But I just want to thank everybody that voted for me.
Okay. So that's all we have for court. And our last segment of the day is the TalkHvy State of Address. And it's brought to you by Scott today.
Oh,
so what
goodness.
you got, man?
Oh my goodness. Hey man, that was a great segment. I appreciate that. That was a great segment. But speaking on, we moving into something a little more serious today. You know, because there's a lot of things going on in these streets right now. Meg Thee Stallion got shot by Tory Lanez allegedly. You know, Kanye's running for president. Shaking my head, man. You got everything going on with the celebrities and all of these famous people. And it's really bothering me because we detracting from the real issues. Really. What happened to getting our rights? Police brutality. What happened to police brutality? Like Uncle Nick came on here and said, police brutality is nothing's going to change out of this. And that's a sad truth. And I said that weeks ago. When I first came onto this podcast, I said, I don't think anything's going to come out of this. And look where we are right now. Distracted. In a whole different place. Do you see what they're doing in Portland? They got a police state in Portland. Trump sent his boys to Portland. And they clearing the blocks, the streets out. You know why? Y'all want to know why they clearing the streets out? To protect white supremacy. They protecting the Christopher Columbus statue in Portland. They knocked the girl's teeth out to protect that statue. So until we get it together as far as this country is concerned, we fighting for our lives out here, man. For real. And we can't be getting distracted by these trivial things. And I get it. We all need that mental release. We all need some fun, some entertainment in our lives, but we can't lose focus of the bigger picture. And that's the TalkHvy State of Address today. Thank you, y'all.
Very well done. And you notice, Scotty, the the three names that you used, it was Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
It was who shot
Tory
Lanez.
Yeah, Tory Lanez,
Right.
Meg Thee Stallion.
And Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
There was one other thing that you I forgot what it was, but we know it was the whole Will Smith thing and Jada. 50 and T.I. Right.
50
What do
and
they
T.I.
all have in common? Hip hop. Get rid of it.
See?
Yo, that was
You
good.
know what?
That was
I like
good.
that. And on that note, we're signing out, man. That wraps up a whole nother episode of TalkHvy. Once again, I'm your boy Scoop Burgundy.
It's your boy Taj.
Just call me bro.
It's your girl, just Brent.
Yeah, it's Scotty.
And we had our very, very special guest today, Nick Reed. We thank you for coming through, man.
Well, before
We
you leave,
truly
you gotta say the
appreciate it.
words. You gotta say the magic words.
Oh, yes, you have to say the slogan before you leave. Say, if you're not talking heavy, then what you talking for?
If you're not talking heavy, what you talking for?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yes. And until next time, holla.